Hi, I'm Kelly Vaughn, and welcome to Inside Indy. And we're going to talk about what's going on in our community and solutions to some of those problems. And here to talk about both of those are Richard Samuels, and he is chairman of the board for CAGI, C-A-G-I. Welcome to the show, Richard.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Mr. Chairman of the board, tell us what does CAGI stand for?
Well, CAGI stands for Community Action of Greater Indianapolis. Okay. And basically, we are here to provide action within the greater Indianapolis area, so okay. Absolutely.
Okay, action, provide action. So when I see there's action, there's some inaction or there's some issues you're addressing. So how do you serve the community?
Well, we provide, actually we provide quite a few things. Mm-hmm. Weatherization. We provide weatherization. We formerly were doing the energy assistance program, diversified away from that. Now moving more towards a lot of youth initiatives. Our major footprint in the community mm-hmm. is with the senior population. We have 5 different facilities. We have 4 seasons, 1 and 2 over between 21st and Emerson and 21st and Ritter, the Emma Johnson homes. We have 1 up in Westfield. We have a facility, and these are low-income senior affordable housing mm-hmm. complexes. And Beech Grove, as well as we serve Boone, Hamilton County, Tipton, and Hendricks, as well as Marion County.
Wow, okay. So the funding for CAGI comes from
the
where?
Government. We have government funding. We have quite a few different funding sources, LAHEAP, as well as CSGB, which is Community Service Block Grant mm-hmm. Funds that we utilize. And all of those funding mechanisms allow us to provide action in the community where services are needed. So.
Okay, so let's hone in on one of the services, the Energy Assistance Program, which you don't have anymore?
Right, we no longer do the Energy Assistance Program now, but we're still doing the Weatherization Program.
Which is what? How does that work?
And the Weatherization Program, we have seniors, a lot of seniors call us up, and if they have issues with their housing as far as leakages of the energy going out, and mm-hmm. we just kind of make it energy efficient. We want to make sure that all the houses are have insulation and those type of things, and we have qualified staff people that come in. We have auditors that audit our qualified staff people to make sure that mm-hmm. There's just a whole process that they have to go through as far as learning, as far as going through in order to provide services. Mm-hmm. And then once we provide those services, we also have someone that comes behind after we provide the service to make sure that our work is done correctly.
Wow, okay. So when it comes to I'm thinking of the weatherization, so does that entail windows and
all of the above? Absolutely. Okay. And the thing is most of those services are going to be free to those clients because they're usually 125% below the poverty level.
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask next in terms of how does one know if they qualify right. for help from CAGI.
And if they just come in and fill out an application, we're at 3622 North Meridian, so we're local right there in the downtown area. Mm-hmm. And they just come in, walk in, fill out an application, and we usually let them know within a few days whether they're qualified for our services or not.
Okay. Pre-home buyer education?
Yes, first-time home buyer education, financial literacy. We provide all of those services. Uh-huh. All of that comes in the package. Once we touch a client, we don't just provide the service that they ask for. We're also very inquisitive in our application processes and trying to find out what other things that we can do with their family. If there's a need for automobile, we have an automobile repair. We have we'll pay your rent. So we have emergency assistance, and so wow. Absolutely.
Wow, I'm not even sure where to start, where to finish. Wow, that you cover a lot. Because earlier you said you focus on a lot on seniors, but
Yes.
but what if you're not a senior?
If
You're
you're-
not qualified. You can't
No,
come in for weatherization.
if you're absolutely, if you're not a senior, you can still come in. We've been doing. First of all, we're an organization that has been in existence for 54 years. We were formerly known as CAP, CAAP, and so a lot of people don't realize that we've been around for a long, long time. We've been providing services to the community for 54 years, and so our name has changed, but the changing of our name has allowed us to have the resources in order to do the wonderful things that we're doing now. So now that we are a part of Community Action, which is a national network of organizations as well. So it helps us to do all the things that we're doing.
Wow. Okay. Housing Choice Voucher Program. Now, what's that?
Well, basically, that is kind of the emergency assistance program where we would possibly provide a voucher in order to help you pay your rent and that type of stuff.
Oh, okay, okay. So who are your clients? Tell us about who comes and takes advantages of your services.
You know, our clients are basically, of course, those who are living in poverty, who are struggling. We definitely deal with the homeless population as well. People coming out of incarceration. We deal with all range and all demographics of clients. So, I mean, every day it's a new adventure. We just completed a move down to the first floor, so we're very accessible off of 3030 Meridian. So our clients come in, sit down. We have some case management where we, try to figure out what their needs are and how we can service them better. Go through that process, and then, basically provide another appointment for them to come back in, and then start the process of providing services.
Okay. Let's talk about children's services. You cover the full game. I don't know how do you keep up with all of this?
It's a lot. I mean, we also have the YES program, which is the Youth Enrichment Services program, and that's our children's program. And we're partnered with a TAB, the church over off of 34th and Central.
Yeah.
I mean, they have such a wonderful program. Mark Montgomery is over that program, and he does a wonderful job with the youth over there, and we're really proud to have him on our team.
Okay. And having, being in touch with the community like that, what issues do you see with our youth? What do you see happening?
Wow, that's a lot. I mean, most of our young people, I think, first of all, I don't think that a lot of us give our young people enough credit as to their ability to think and reason. There's a lot of our young people out here, they're just losing hope. I mean, when we were coming up, we would have someone in place that would let us know, hey, look, this is what you need to do. This is how you need to do it. This is where it's going to take you. A lot of our young people now are not privy to that type of guidance. And so what's happening is, of course, not only due to, there are many factors as to why our families are not whole anymore. Incarceration being one of them, absentee fathers. One of the other things that is on the rise now that a lot of people are not tracking is when you have a father that leaves the family, the mother or ladies of the family usually take over, embrace the children, take care of the children while the father is gone. Unfortunately, now what's happening is a lot of our females are being locked up and incarcerated. But when that happens on the female side of it, the family simply disintegrates.
Whoa.
Yes, and so it's very difficult when you are coming from a family where possibly one or both of your parents have been incarcerated. Now, as a child, who's guiding you? And where do you get your hope from? And then, of course, we realize that, all the things that we see through the media, on TV, that talk about the state of affairs our government is in. So who are our young people looking to, or who are they getting guidance from? You go into our communities, a lot of our communities, especially our impoverished communities, you have uh, those who may have aspired to become doctors and lawyers and in the upper echelon of services have left that community. So now who are the role models that are left? The drug dealers, and you know what I'm saying? The things that the demographics of the community that, you know, are not really popular. And so, but these are the people who are leading our young people. And this is where they're getting their advice from. And so that's difficult. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Now again, and because I feel like you kind of have a pulse on the community, with the more women being incarcerated, what's that about? Why is that?
Well,
any theories
you know,
on that?
That I can't answer. I don't. I work with the Marion County Reentry Coalition, and that's one of the questions that we're asking ourselves. You know, why is it that more women are being incarcerated now than before? I would venture to say, you know, everyone is looking for a better economic situation, but to put my finger on it specifically, I couldn't do that.
Wow, that's very, very interesting. The foster grandparents?
Yes, one of our longest standing programs, Shalita Kerr is the director of our foster grandparents program. And what that program does is our foster grandparents tutor young people that are still in school. And so they're providing and passing down that wisdom of the ages. And that's just a great program. And
so, well, I'll tell you what, we're actually going to take a break, and I'd like to find out more actually how that works, because, you know, we say this is a program, but how do people sign up for it? How do they get involved? And we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk about foster grandparents.
Absolutely.
With Richard Samuels after this. And we're back here on Inside Indy talking to Richard Samuels, who is the chairman of the board for KG here in Indianapolis. And we were talking about foster grandparents and how that works. And I guess I'm thinking about it, maybe becoming a foster, you hate to say the word grandparent.
Right.
And I don't have any children, but I'd be a grandparent right about now. So, so how can somebody like me sign up for something like that, and how does it work?
Well, you could go to www.kgcagi-in.org, or you could call us at 396-1800, and of course that's 317 area code. And just get in touch with, you can ask for Shalita Kerr, who is the director of the Foster Grandparents Program. And basically, I'm sure she'll have you come out, fill out an application. We have a waiting list of people who are wanting to be a part of this program, because they also are offering like a stipend. So the foster grandparents get paid to do this as well. And so it's kind of like a nice addition to their income. And so, yeah.
Okay. So is the waiting list on the
grandparent side?
Okay, but
Yes.
the student side.
The student side is as many students as we can reach.
Right.
We have foster grandparents that work with them, and they'll sit down and work with them and do their homework and that type of thing.
Okay,
So, yeah.
okay. I just think that's really cool, because I think that so many of the young people lack direction, but we think it's them. A lot of it's because we're not giving them direction.
Exactly.
And I know this to be true even in my own family, that sometimes you can be taught something yourself and then you don't pass what you learned down, because somehow you think you know what you know through osmosis or something.
Right.
And no, somebody taught you how you pick up your fork.
That's right.
Mama
Everything.
taught you. Yeah,
Yes.
everything. Somebody taught you that, but we think that somehow we just magically learned how to do that.
Well, and that's what we were talking about earlier. You know, the fact that our young people out here really don't have the guidance that they need sometimes. And, you know, it's interesting. It's just a matter of what I do. a lot of times when I go and I speak to young people, which, juvenile, and I talk in a lot of different venues, a lot of different platforms, but what I try to share is the importance of that they understand that relationships are just so important. The relationships that you build with people and nurturing those relationships and those people that are providing positive guidance for you, you have to be a participant in the back and forth in the relationship. People can't just hand something to you and then all of a sudden you don't call them, you don't reach out to them. You know what I mean? And so, so we try to teach the importance of nurturing relationships as well.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
And you learn that again when you're little. Say thank you.
And another one of my mottos that I'm pushing now is that, win or lose, you always learn something. It doesn't matter what you're doing, if you win, if you lose, whether it's a competition or not. Always look to find the lesson in what it is that you're experiencing, whatever situation you find yourself in. Whether you're in an argument, once that argument is over and you start processing, what did you learn so that it doesn't happen again? So absolutely.
Once you lose the argument, I like winning, Richard.
Yes,
I like winning. So, but KG, you're taking it in a new direction. Tell us about that.
Yes, we are. We're doing a lot of things. We're trying to become. And this is just part of my vision and our co-directors as well. We would like to become the hub for the community where everyone comes into KG, and then because of the partnerships that we've developed and the collaborations that we've created with other agencies, we can then basically disperse people to where they need to go to get the proper resources that they're looking for.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's, we have quite a few community partners already. We're partnered with PACE. We're partnered with Kim Boyd and the Hope team. There are just Love Life Outreach Ministries, which just recently did something at the jail. They had a job fair at the jail, which is something that is new. We're trying to make sure that we have a presence before people leave incarceration instead of waiting until they get out. And so we're trying to bring employers into the jail to talk to those who are on their way out so that they have some footing and some structure before they come home.
Yeah, we just had also on the show Pastor Bumphus. I don't know if you know him, of Jesus Inside Prison Ministries, and we were talking about that very thing and how so many who come out come right back in because when there's no support or there's no system in place. And I guess out here in the world, we don't think about that. And so it's interesting how if the prisons are supposed to be, what's the word when they're kind of rehabbing?
Rehabilitation.
Yeah. Then why isn't that's not a part of the programs?
Well, and it's because they have taken rehabilitation kind of out of the prison system. In 2010, all of the colleges came out of prison. They were removed from prison. You could formally go to college while you were in prison and get a degree and earn a degree. But in 2010, all of that schooling was taken out of prison. Most of your automotive and printing and vocational industries were taken out of prison. And so now...
Why? I mean, what happened?
It wasn't cost effective. For the institutions, I mean, you would think that providing rehabilitation and resources for those who are returning citizens, which is what we call them now, instead of ex-offenders, it's returning citizens, the new watchword. But you would think that you would want people to be rehabilitated and have goals and aspirations.
Right, because I don't want to keep paying for it.
Absolutely, but it just doesn't seem to work that way. And I think that a lot of people are now beginning to realize that what it has become is basically human warehousing. And so, but with that being said...
Especially since they're becoming more privatized, so if we get rid of the education, they get to keep you here.
Exactly.
It's just, it's kind of like sometimes with medicine.
But then with that being said, what is the next step? And what the next step is, what we're experiencing now is community corrections, where they're putting ankle bracelets and ankle monitors on everyone. And so basically, instead of being in a prison situation, you're basically in prison at your house, But then too, what a lot of people don't realize is what comes with that is then now you have officials able to come into your home and, if you have, like, if your son is on GPS, well, the GPS people can come in and basically search and that type of thing. So,
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
I didn't know all this was
It's
happening.
kind of scary. But, if you've seen Ava DuVernay's The 13th, you kind of realize that that's kind of the next phase of what the system is going to, as far as, community corrections and that type of thing, as opposed to doing what they did in the past, which is basically warehousing. So.
Wow. Okay.
And so, and we as community organizations, we need to stay aware of the things that are happening in our community and keep our pulse, our finger on the pulse of what's going on, because we need to be able to provide services for these individuals who are coming out of incarceration, who are a lot of veterans coming home from service. And then finding themselves falling on hard times, who are now homeless. What is the housing situation? What is it? Where do they get their food from? Where are they going to get their services? Now, do they have Medicaid? Do they have Medicare? Because now it's supposedly mandatory that people coming out of incarceration have health care. And so all of these type of things are things that we're concerned about, and we want to make sure that not only are they getting the things that they need, but what else is out there, what resources are out there, and how can we come together collectively as the city of Indianapolis to provide better resources for these individuals.
So I would take it there may be some, though, who feel that that's not their problem. That's not that's on them.
Absolutely. There are a lot of people who feel that way. I mean, there are going to always be those who think that you can always pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. You just need to go get a job, or you need to go do this. And what people don't realize is, just like I talked about earlier, that, maybe the things that someone told you in order to get you where you are, someone didn't tell these individuals because their mom may have been a crackhead, or their mom may be on drugs, and the father was absent. And so
all about exposure.
Exactly. And so what do you say to those individuals who haven't had the same opportunities?
Not only that, my dad used to always tell me this. He would say, just because things are the way they are today doesn't mean they're always going to be that way. So sometimes he would go down to 27th and Northwestern, where all his buddies were, and I was a little girl sitting in the car, and he'd say, see that man on the corner there? And he was looking like a bum. He said, he used to have a nice home and a Cadillac. Life happens.
Right.
So sometimes people who have that, I call it an arrogance.
Yes.
My dad used to say, you don't know what's going to happen.
He is so true with that, because you never know by looking at an individual what brought them to where they are. And it doesn't matter whether they're going on the upscale or the downscale, because a lot of times those who have come on the upside of things and they're in positions of power, you never know
when you
the
hear
struggles.
their story.
Absolutely. And then those who are falling on hard
true.
times, my mom always said, to reach out to the least of these, you know what I mean? Because you never know, what happened to that individual.
Yeah, it's amazing. Sometimes even in meeting somebody, and you can start having a conversation, and they just look so happy, and they start telling you, well, my dad's suffering with cancer now. Even in a given day, just a conversation with another human being.
Absolutely.
So that's taught me to always kind of have an open mind when you see a certain situation. What is behind that story? Of course, everybody has a story. So anything else you want to add? We're getting ready to wrap things up in terms of the new direction of KG, things you want people out there to know about your organization.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, like I said earlier, we already tried to institute our automobile repair services program, and we're going to bring that back. We had to suspend it for a moment to do some tweaking to make sure that we were providing a quality service.
So it's a service, or you have training that's providing service?
No, it is a service. We will, if you have transportation and it goes down, we will help you fix your vehicle so that you can have transportation to get back and forth to work.
Wow.
And basically the things that we do provide are safety related. We want to make sure you have good tires. We want to make sure your shocks are working and that type of thing. Anything that might be dangerous to you, we want to make sure that we provide that. And then, like I said, the emergency assistance program where we'll pay your rent if you fall on hard times. But, you have to, of course, come and go through the process, fill out an application. some of the new directions, because we have been servicing our senior population quite a bit, one of our newer directions is we want to make sure that we provide wellness checks and maybe do some health fairs right there on site where they're living. And so, because we want to make sure that our seniors don't have to be forced into going into assisted living.
Okay. Well, Richard, we appreciate you coming in and letting us know what's going on out there and helping those in our community. And so will you come back?
Absolutely, anytime.
Okay. Richard Samuels, Chairman of the Board for KG.
Thank you for having
joining
me.
us on Inside Indy. And thank you for joining us. I'm Kelly Vaughn. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.